Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to race number 2 here at Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. The cars are currently lining up on the starting grid for race number 2. We have a reversed top 8 from the result from race number 1, and that, the grid will look as follows. It'll be Sebastian Schindmark on P1 ahead of Alexander Christensen in P2, Jonathan Engström P3, Alex Gustafsson in P4, Theo Jernberg in P5, 6th is Victor Nielsen, 7th is Ellis Pietsia, and our winner from race 1 in P8, Elias Adestam. Isaac Arvidsson will start from P9. He had a good race in race number 1. P10 for Sierra Högfeldt, Louise Larsen 11th, Mons Talen 12th, Philip Bartos 13th, Graham Hofmans in P14, Katie Turner in 15th, and Linus Grandfors in P16. Alexander Christensen is not perfectly lined up in his grid box, and we did know before the race that if you do not start properly in your starting box, it is counted as a false start, so that might see some issues later on in the race for our P2 man, Alexander Christensen. The last time he started from P2, he was P1 coming out of the first corner. Let's see if he can repeat the same thing here today. 5 red lights are on the gantry. They're out and we're underway for race number 2 here at Oschersleben. A good start though for the 5 of Sebastian Schindmark. Alexander Christensen with a better start alongside him. It's the 47 of Jonathan Engström already challenging him down in the turn 1. But I think it's going to be Alexander Christensen leading out of the first corner. It's not. It's the 5 of Sebastian Schindmark who keeps P1. Jonathan Engström follows him through in P3 for now, but attacks Alexander Christensen coming out of turn 2. That is the 8 of Elias Adestam off the track. He made a mistake in the second race in Falkenberg, makes a mistake in the second race in Oschersleben, and that is not the start he was hoping for.
Not at all. Hello everyone watching. We had a good start from Christensen. Obviously Schindmark is staying in front. We can say Victor Nielsen, Ellis Pietsia, and also Alex Gustafsson who did a really good race 1. He's improved a lot in the last few kilometers and sessions, so we think he will actually push.
The last time, of course, we know that Elias Adestam is the savior of push to pass. Well, that won't work now. He has to come through the whole field. A good start, though, it seems like, from Louise Larsen in the 51 already on the back of the 21 of, I think, that is Sierra Högfeldt. The 11 of Ellis Pietsia, who had to come from P7, seems to have gotten up the order a little bit as well. Enzo Holman in P7, he had to come from the back of the grid already. Has overtaken a couple of cars. Graham Hofmans in the number 2 behind that. Then it's the number 12 for Philip Bartos. And then it's Katie Turner behind that. Linus Grandfors, of course, one of those coming through the field as well. There's the move, though, for the lead. Alexander Christensen up into P1. Is Jonathan Engström going to follow through? Yes, he is. Is he going to go 2 for 1? He isn't. The 16 of Mons Talen coming through as well. This is 7 of Enzo Holman. He started all the way at the back of the field. Seems already to be up close to the top 10. Ellis Pietsia coming through as well. And there is the 14 of Katie Turner in the gravel. There's a yellow flag out, and that'll probably bring out a safety car. Was it Elias Adestam at contact with Sebastian Schindmark in the first race? No, that's Katie Turner locking up the race. And, well, that is her into the gravel, and I don't think she's going to get out of there.
No, she will be stuck there, and clearly she locked the rear wheels. We have a brake bias in the car, so you can adjust how much brake pressure or force you have on the front axle compared to the rear axle. So we still do not have any safety cars, so they're still fighting for positions. Christiansson is clearly still keeping his lead in the front, and Granfors has gotten pretty far up. He's in P10 at the moment.
Let's talk about Ellis Pietsia, though, leading the championship by 10 points. Had to start from 7th, is in P3 in the championship. There's a safety car out, and that is important because the 50 of I think Victor Nielsen was about to get past Sebastian Schindmark, has to back out of that one. Of course, safety car, no overtaking allowed. And for the second time today, we have a safety car out on track. And I think Alexander Christensen, oh, that was Engström.
They're pretty unsure. I think they're unsure on what position they actually had when the safety car came out. So they sort of have found their place now. Linus Grandfors, he's done a really good job. He's P10 at the moment. So just to clarify what happened. So we had a sensor failure in the battery. So each cell in the battery is being monitored. We're monitoring voltage and temperature. And one of the temperature sensors was showing a very strange value. And for safety reasons, the car automatically shuts power off. So it's a safety function. So we feel really bad for Linus Grandfors leading the race, having this issue. But obviously, we're also happy that all the safety functions we have in the batteries that keeps us safe are working. So that's a good thing. Let's let our German commentator say a few words for the audience.
Ja, Senke, vielen Dank. Muntere Startphase haben wir gerade gesehen. Safety Car ist unterwegs. Alexander Christensen ist der Führer im Klassement vor Jonathan Engholm und vor Alice Spezia. Und einmal ganz kurz zur Serie. Wir haben hier Elektrofahrzeuge mit 230 PS mit dem Push-to-Pass-Knopf, wo man 30 PS noch einmal abrufen kann. Man ist so im Durchschnitt 200 Stundenkilometer auf den Geraden schnell. Es sind 100% elektrisch angetriebene Fahrzeuge aus dem Hause von Mini, die im Übrigen dann mit einem Frontantrieb ausgestattet sind. So viel mal zu den Eckdaten. In Kürze geht es hier dann weiter. Wenn Safety Car wieder eingeschert ist, dann gehen wir rüber, denn das Ganze wird hauptsächlich ja in den skandinavischen Ländern hier von dieser Stelle aus übertragen.
Let's have a little bit of a chat now that it is a bit quiet out on track. The 27 seems to be leading. I don't know where... Has someone pitted? I have a feeling that someone has... was he in the front when the safety car came out?
Who?
Alexander Christensen,
yeah, he's been in front. He's been in front all the time. He made a good move. He overtook, so he's in the front. So, who do we have up there? I mean, Ellis Biese has done a great job. He's in P3 at the moment. Alex Gustafsson, I keep commenting, he's doing a really good job. He's in P4 at the moment. Sebastian Kinmark, obviously from starting first, he's 5th now. He's dropped a few positions.
Yeah, I think that's the one we were missing at the front, starting on that reverse grid pole position, finishing P8 in the first race, down to P5. There is our mini safety car, the 27 of Alexander Christensen behind that. Beasley warming his tires, trying to keep them up to temp. The 47 of Jonathan Engström close behind that. Ellis Spezia up to P3. Has he used push to pass to get there? We don't know. He had one push to pass left after the last safety car restart. How's it going to be this time? That safety car, though, came out a bit later on in the race. Ellis Spezia leading the championship by 10 points over Elias Adestam. Linus Grunfors in P3. He's 30 points already behind Ellis Spezia. And with both Linus, Enzo Holman and Elias Adestam down the order, it is Alexander Gustafsson who can gain some positions here in the championship as well. He's P5, Enzo Holman in P6, Theo Jernberg 7, Victor Nielsen in 8, Alexander Christensen in 9th, Jonathan Engström in P10.
So, and looking at the result list, I mean, Elias Adestam, he lost 7 positions. Yeah. He's in P15 at the moment. He was the one charging for the overall point, so he clearly needs to do a good job now to climb in the positions. So he has a good chance with safety car. The whole field is bunched up. Obviously, he has the chance now to hopefully use some push to pass, gain some positions. He's second last in this group of cars at the moment.
Can't see exactly what happened to Elias Adestam down into the second corner on the first lap already. He had that mistake at Falkenberg, rejoined the track, contact, got a 20-second penalty, dropped all the way down to the position where he is right now, 15th as well. So a bit of deja vu for him this time on the track though, and he has some time to make it up. 8 minutes and 19 seconds to go still in this race. Safety car still has the lights on, so we aren't going to do another lap. You can still see the 14 of Katie Turner in the gravel there. The intervention vehicle waiting until he can drive on, get Katie out of the gravel, and hopefully she can get going again.
So for Katie, it's an unfortunate situation. So she's now receiving external help to get back to the track. So she's actually not allowed to continue. So she has to pit and abandon the race.
Well, it is Alexander Christensen leading the way ahead of Jonathan Engström in P2. Ellis Spezia P3. Alex Gustafsson in P4. Another good race for him, though, we have to say. He's climbing the charts this weekend at Oschersleben in the championship ahead of Sebastian Kinmark in P5. Victor Nielsen in 6th. Theo Jernberg in 7th. Sia Högfeldt in P8. She was gunning for that top 8 in the first race to get that reversed grid. Had a little bit of a mistake. Didn't quite feel comfortable with the car. It seems like that all of that inconfidence is now gone in the second race.
She's doing a really good job, Sia Högfeldt. I mean, P8 at the moment. She's with the lead group, so hopefully she can keep up with the speed and gain some positions. She's really also improving. I mean, I listen a little bit on the data analysis between the sessions, and you can clearly see that they are improving, all of them. They're getting really much closer to each other as well. So we have the information now that safety car will pit at the end of this lap. So it's time for the drivers to focus, make sure they have temperature in the tires and the brakes, and plan what they should do. Should he use push to pass now, like Ellis did in the first race this morning, to get a gap to the second car, or should he keep it and wait till the end of the race?
I mean, these safety car restarts are always interesting with push to pass. Do you want to risk it being eaten up by everyone who's behind you, or do you want to use one and only have one left for the end of the race? It's something that in the end, really changed the last race. We had 2 laps of racing left after the safety car came in. A bit more this time round. Seems like we're going to have at least 4 laps of racing. The safety car is going to turn the lights off in between turn 10 and 11. That'll indicate that he will be going in this lap. And from that point on, it'll be Alexander Christensen, setting the pace.
I mean, we haven't mentioned Jonathan Engström as well, 2nd position at the moment. So for those who don't know who he is, he has a father that has done the STCC, the Scandinavian Touring Car Championship, for many years, and also raced all over the world. So he clearly has it in the DNA from his father. So you can clearly see now Christiansen is warming up his tires. He's getting ready. He's controlling the field. He dictates the pace, and he decides when he wants to go.
Thomas Engström, the name of his dad.
Exactly.
I mean,
good. Well done. Dan.
Yes. If you go to Scandinavia, he's known all over the place there. So he's gotten some good help from his dad as well. Jonathan Engström has to put it together, though. He's all over the back of Christensen. He doesn't want to let him go. When is he going to go? That is the question. Will he do the same that Ellis Spezia, that use and push deposits, green flag racing, once Alexander Christensen goes? And that is now a good gap, though, off the restart from Alexander Christensen. Ellis Spezia looking behind, and Jonathan Engström using push to pass. Ellis Spezia using push to pass as well. He's eaten up. Is Alexander Christensen. Both have gotten past. Ellis Spezia now up to turn 2. He has a little bit of a look, though, down to turn 1 as Alexander Christensen doesn't get it.
And Ellis took 2 positions with his push to pass. He managed to get past Engström as well.
So that's now Ellis Spezia back up into the leads of this race. Was leading last race as well. He lost that lead at the end of the first race. Alexander Christensen seemingly has used push to pass as well to get past Jonathan Engström. Instead of going from P2 to P1, he's now down in P3 coming out of the second corner. So that's how quickly a race can change. Push to pass. The 19 of Alex Gustafsson side by side with Victor Nielsen, the 50. The inside is strong here in the triple left-hander. He's going to try and carry it through, and he does. Victor Nielsen has to lift. Was no room there for him in the end. It's not a corner where you do really want to be taking it side by side.
I mean, we know that Ellis has used minimum 1 push to pass, the same with Jonathan Engström and the same with Christensen. So the question now is, do they have 1 left? Do they have a chance to overtake and fight for the lead? And Ellis is really pushing away now. He's really gained quite a lot of track space to the second car.
We will update you on the gap once they come past start-finish, but the gap visibly has grown a lot. It is really a race now between Jonathan Engström and Alexander Christensen for P2. And it's interesting to see if they can catch up to Ellis Spezia. I don't think he's used his second push to pass. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake of using that push to pass too early twice. And he's going to want to have one in defense. We don't know, of course. We have no way of knowing. And that's the cool part about it. 47 of Jonathan Engström trying to get past the 27 of Alexander Christensen. That is allowing Alex Gustafsson behind that to catch up as well. It's Sebastian Schindmark in the 5, who's now still in P6. Has lost that position though to Victor Nielsen. There's Jonathan Engström pulling out. No push to pass used. So it's purely a slipstream battle, and he gets it. The 47 of Jonathan Engström up into P2. 1 step higher on the podium. Behind that, though, the 19 of Alex Gustafsson, you can see him under pressure from Victor Nielsen. Who of those two is going to be on the back of Alexander Christensen or Jonathan Engström first?
Behind the lead group, I mean, Linus Granfors is in P8 at the moment. Enzo Hallman has made a good start after the restart. He's been P10, so he's climbed a few positions. And he's, you can see Victor Nielsen obviously terrorizing Alex Gustafsson, trying to get past again into the fast left-hander.
I don't know if there was some contact between the two there. But we know rubbing is racing in these touring cars, these LRTs, NXTs, front-wheel driven. So that makes it interesting. Sebastian Schindmark goes a bit wide there into the 3rd of the 3 left-handers. And the 4 of Theo Jernberg under pressure now from Linus Granfors, who had to make his way through the field from P16, is now up into P8. And is he going to gain that position over Theo Jernberg as well? He's all over him. And Sebastian Schindmark is dropping back as well in number 5.
And Elias Adestam, he's not really catching up. He's still in P12, 48.1, so he's doing quick lap times, but he can't really get position at the moment.
He might have used his push to pass to get up. There's the move, though, from Alex Gustafsson. And that has put him, I think, up into P3. on the podium. That is a great move, breaking late and breaking very late. This is the three of Linus Grunfors at the insides of Sebastian Schinmark. Is he going to make his way through into the last corner? The inside powerful, the outside gets a better exit though, but he gets it. That allows the fourth tail Jörnberg to follow through as well.
And Christiansson is using a push to pass, I think, to catch back, take the position back. Can he manage to take Engström as well? No, he cannot.
We know that he was disappointed with his qualifying result, happy with where he finished in race 2, and he's doing even better here in race 2. This is Enzo Holman making his way through Sebastian Schinmark as well. He's dropping down the order after starting first in this race, well, receiving that reverse grid pole position of courtesy of finishing P8 in the first race.
He's back in P8 now, so he's lost a few positions. That's a shame. So we have almost a second to the second place. So Spezia is pulling away from the field. I think he's pretty safe now. So the question is if we will get another lap or not. I don't think so. So Ellis is in a good position to catch another victory.
Ooh, that's a brave one. At the moment, Ellis is in sector 2. So this might be the last lap. I didn't see any of the white flags waved here at start-finish. We did see the last lap board go up, I think, once they came past start-finish here. Jörnberg, the 4, is ahead of Enzo Holman in the number 7. They are both ahead of Sebastian Schinmark. That's P7 and 8, 4 to 2 respectively. Ahead of that is the 3 of Linus Grunfors, Ellis Spezia. We told you that gap is over a second almost to Jonathan Engström. But what a result for him, though, coming back through the pack. It is Theo Jörnberg.
Theo Jörnberg is using a push to pass to gain the position back. He was overtaken by Grunfors, but he's taken the position back. I mean, Linus Grunfors and Elsa Hallman, they started basically last, and they are now in position 6 and 8, 6 and 7.
Here we go, though. We're going to, I think, have the exact same story as we've had in Falkenberg. It is Ellis Spezia, the Electric Renegade, who takes his second victory in the NXT Gen Cup. And it is the same story we had at Falkenberg. Elias Adelstam winning race 1, Ellis Spezia winning race number 2. Jonathan Engström with a good finish in P2 as well. Alexander Christensen jumping onto the podium. Victor Nielsen missing out in P4, Alex Gustafsson in P5, Linus Grunfors coming through in P6. But what a race we've seen again. I can't see a lot of gaps on the timing screen that are bigger than a second.
I mean, they're super tight. I mean, top 13 is within 10 seconds in the race, finishing this race. So Ellis Spezia is really doing what he has to do. So he's increasing his points lead now with this victory. He's really doing the job. Putting the best he can together when the other ones are struggling. So Elias Adelstam, 9th position.
I mean, from being all the way down in P16 to P9 with what, about 6 minutes to go, it's not bad at all. We have to remember that he didn't have the time that the others had, like Linus Grunfors and Enzo Holman, and still made his way up into P9, had about 6-7 minutes.
Not bad, but for the points, I mean, it is bad.
Yeah.
So, and we also need to talk about Engström. 2nd place, he kept his position, he did a good job, he played it smart with the push to pass, and Alexander Christiansson, he managed to keep his podium. He was so disappointed at Falkenberg when he struggled, so I'm happy for him to also be on the podium. Linus Grunfors, P6. Enzo Hallman P8, they started last, remember that? Yeah. They've made a really good job. Also being helped a little bit by the safety car, of course. And here we can see Katie Turner being towed back to the pits.
Well, like you said, not allowed to get underway again. And well, let's have a little read through the grid once we've had our German counterpart do a little introduction.
Ja, mal ganz kurz gehen wir noch auf das Ergebnis ein. Vielen Dank an den munteren Kommentar, den wir gerade hören durften. Wie gesagt, bitte um Entschuldigung, aber das Ganze wurde zunächst einmal für die skandinavischen Länder kommentiert. Ellis Spezia auf 1 vor Jonathan Engholm vor Alexander Christensen. Die werden also hier das Podium besuchen. Wer Interesse an dieser Serie hat, nächstes Wochenende, next Weekend auf dem Nürburgring werden wir den 2. Deutschland-Auftritt hier in dieser Serie erleben.
Yes, there we go. The result is on your screen. Ellis Spezia taking the 2nd place. Again, Jonathan Engström in P2. Alexander Christensen in P3. Victor Nielsen coming through in P4. Misses out by 1 spot on that podium. Was 3rd in race number 1. Alex Gustafsson in P5. Linus Grunfors in P6. Theo Jörnberg in P7. And Enzo Holman in P8. Elias Adelstam coming through with about 6 minutes to go to P9, but not good for the championship for him. And Sebastian Schinmark from starting pole position in this race, dropping down and rounding off the top P10. Siri Höckfeldt in P11 ahead of Louise Larson in 12th. Mons Tallinn in 13th, and Graham Hoffmans in P14. Another Graham in the first race had some fun with Katie in the last lap, spun around a couple of times, didn't do that this time around. Philip Bartos in P16, and then the Strucken Katie Turner, who was not allowed to, take part in the race again.
Ja, da laufen noch einmal die Highlights über die Bühne von diesem Rennen, was wir gerade gesehen haben. Und so beginnt das Ganze auch hier natürlich mit dem Start hier in Oschersleben. Wir dürfen aber schon heute einmal die Auskunft geben, wie geht es morgen weiter bei uns. Auf der Rennstrecke haben wir ab 8 Uhr morgen früh das zweite Zeittraining des NRTC Sprint auf dem Programm, bevor es zur nächsten Zeittrainingssitzung im ADAC Tourenwagen Junior Cup kommt. Und dann haben wir NRTC Endurance Zeittraining. Morgen geht es dann weiter im Rennen und im Livestream mit dem GT Sprint Race. Ab 9:40 Uhr sind wir aufgeschaltet. Wieder einmal im ADAC Racing Weekend Livestream. Ich sage für heute Tschüss und auf Wiedersehen von Oschersleben, gebe aber noch einmal zurück zu meinen Kollegen vom Next Cup, der elektrischen Serie, die wir gerade erleben durften.
Well, let's have a little look at the highlights then of this race, because what a race it was. A race full of action, just like race number 1. The gaps for most of the drivers, within a second. I can't see a lot of gaps that were bigger than a second. Jonathan Engström had about a 1.2 second gap to Oda Spezia. That was one of the only gaps that was higher than a second. Linus Granfors 2.4 to Alex Gustafsson. And Siri Höckfeldt 1.4 to Sebastian Schinmark. And Isaac Arvidsson 1.4 to Graham Hoffmans. Those are the only gaps that are higher than 1.4 seconds. So then,
hopefully some highlights so we can watch the action again and the key points from the race.
Here we go. Let's have a look at the highlights then of this race.